Something that I have recently found extremely helpful is making the distinction between tension and conflict. Often when I ask people if they can tell me what the difference between tension and conflict is, most people either find it hard to make that distinction because they see tension and conflict almost as part and parcel or part of the same thing. Or some people say, well, tension is what happens under the surface, and conflict is when it explodes. And the definition or the distinction I'm going to give you now is not a distinction or a definition that you will find in the dictionary, but it is very helpful from a practical standpoint. So tension is when you've got differences that collide, and that could be differences of opinion, differences in what two different people are protecting or defending, differences in values, differences in what two people naturally bring through their natural contribution or their natural energy. And when that energy collides, you have tension. Conflict is when that tension is unconscious, and therefore it's unnamed. And when it's unnamed, then we tend to personalize it. So for example, it's the skeptic that says to the pioneer, you're being reckless. It's the pioneer that says to the skeptic, you're stalling the process. You're just putting the handbrake on. And when that becomes personal, that's what we call conflict, or that's what I call conflict. And conflict is negative, and conflict is bad for trust, and it's bad for relationships. Because the moment we personalize it, trust erodes, and when trust erodes, so too do relationships break down. And I think the failure to make the distinction between tension and conflict and sort of lumping it into the same concept then causes people to generally, in relationships, in teams, try to eliminate the tension, smooth it over, or avoid it completely. But here's the interesting part, is that tension is not the enemy, it's the energy. It's the opposing energy, it's the difference in energy colliding. And if we try to smooth it over, minimize it, eliminate it, avoid it, we are actually turning down the energy. And energy is exactly what we want in relationships. And the opportunity here is to stop seeing tension as something to be avoided and rather see it as something to be engaged with. See it as a signal. It's like when there's tension, whether it's in your personal relationships, in your team, the moment there's tension, that's a signal to say energy's at play here. That's good, because if energy isn't at play, you have disengagement. You have, in a personal relationship, you have people that just start withdrawing and don't engage with the relationship. In a team, the same thing. So the fact that there's tension means there's engagement, means people are bringing energy to the party. But if we don't name it, then it becomes conflict and it damages the relationships. And so when you get the signal, if you see tension as a signal, now you can step back and you can ask good questions. What's at play here? What is it that's colliding? What am I bringing that's in tension with what somebody else brings? Or sometimes it's, what am I defending or protecting that's in tension with what somebody else is defending or protecting? For example, a skeptic might be protecting caution, might be protecting against making mistakes and taking on unnecessary risk. A pioneer might be protecting against stagnation and wanting to push into new territories and push out of comfort zones. If that goes unnamed, it becomes a problem. But the moment we can name it, the moment we can say, this is what's at play. It seems like you're protecting this. It seems like you're bringing this. It seems like this is really important to you. And this is important to me, or this is what I'm bringing, or this is what I'm protecting, and it's colliding with what you bring. And then, you see, often we get told to tone it down. We get told to work on our weaknesses. So let's say, the bold person that likes to take control and confront things head on is told to be more sensitive, or to tone that intensity down. It's the empathetic person that gets told to toughen up and not be so sensitive. But if we're doing this, we're turning down our energy, which is really not a good thing. What we want to be doing is turning up the energy, but tuning it in. Bring what you bring, but with attunement. And by attunement, I mean awareness of what's needed now. What is this moment need? What is this relationship need? What is this team need? What is this mission need? And is what I bring serving that in this moment, or am I imposing it? And that's the difference. It's attunement. It's tuning in your contribution, but turning it up and bringing it where it's needed and when it's needed. And so conflict is the negative play out of unnamed, unconscious tension. But tension itself is energy. So name it, step back. When you name it, you can work with it. You can unlock the energy that's there. And that might mean sometimes you have to step up and bring what you bring, and the other person steps back. Sometimes it might mean the opposite. Sometimes you might have to step back. And so it brings me lastly to this interesting word, intention. Intention means with purpose. And yet, it's also a great word to highlight the value that tension brings. If we are in tension and we are intentional about that tension, we can tune it in and we can leverage the energy that brings. I've personally found this distinction extremely helpful, not only in my work relationships, but also in my personal relationships, because I tended to see tension as a negative thing, as something to avoid or smooth over. And now I see it as a signal for deeper engagement. It's a signal that there's energy at play here. Name the energy and channel the energy. Name the energy and redirect the energy. Name the energy and unlock it. So I hope this is helpful for you. I know that when I take teams through this concept, it's like the little light bulbs go on, because it's the exact opposite often to what we've been told to do. If you enjoy my videos, please will you hit the subscribe button. It just helps you to stay updated and informed when I release new videos. And I'm going to be releasing a lot of videos now in the theme of leadership, as me and my partner Dries are writing our next book, which is rhythm-based leadership. We're going to be exploring some of these concepts that will be unpacked in the book.